All right, it all goes down on Saturday in Melbourne, Australia. A great sports town, and they got themselves a quality main event, in the middleweight division of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. The incumbent, Robert Whittaker, their undisputed champion. He defends his title against Kelvin Gastelum, and here are the odds. Minus 245 for the champ, plus 205 for the challenger. All right, Dan, Tom, lead things off.
Those odds may feel a little inflated. I say a little because there's not a big spread, nor really should there be. But I can see where the odds makers and maybe the public are coming from. Obviously, Robert Whittaker, he's the champion, the defending champion. And boy, if anybody's had to defend their title through wars and some dangerous challengers, it's that guy. I mean, 10 rounds with Yoel Romero is no joke. So I guess I can see why he's a favorite. That doesn't come as a surprise, though. You know, although it seems kind of cheap to say. I can say this about anybody. Yes, Gastelum is a live dog, guys. He's a southpaw. He's quick for the division. He can wrestle. He can scramble. It's just a weird sample size for me. You know, you could make an argument that Kelvin Gastelum has only lost one fight. Some people scored that fight against Woodley. It was a split decision. You know, it could have gone his way. Gastelum was really sick that day and still was able to put on a good performance. And then he has another loss if you will to Neil Magny, which I honestly scored that as a draw. I mean, you could even have scored it his way as well. And not taking away from either of those fighters, just saying how good Gastelum is, guys. But the thing is, it feels like when it comes to 5-round experience and adjustments, the sample size shows that he will make adjustments. He gave up a lot of takedowns, which is why I was worried in that Chris Weidman fight. He ends up losing him because of that, right? The submission game. But against Jacare, he goes and I believe Jacare was like 1-9 or 1 for 11 in his takedowns. Like he shut down Jacare the whole fight, at least when it came down to the takedowns. So he does have these skills when he picks and chooses to. But when we're talking about picking, choosing, adjustments, I mean, again, back to the 10 rounds with Yoel Romero, I don't see how you beat Robert Whittaker in that department. Robert Whittaker 3-0 against UFC southpaws. I don't think the stance is going to trouble him. I don't think the speed's going to trouble him. He's used to fighting welterweights where all his losses occurred down at welterweight. He's undefeated at middleweight, and I hate to discount a guy like Kelvin Gastelum, who is on a mission for gold, but I think Robert Whittaker goes 4-0 against southpaws and defends his title.
Goes.
How many times have we seen these two fighters in particular win fights on guts and heart alone? It's going to happen again. I anticipate them going to the distance. What it's going to come down to is a word that you brought up, and that's scrambles. I think it's going to come down to some of those, and I think Kelvin Gastelum's going to win those. Cardio and scrambles, and I think Kelvin will be able to manage both. I'm going to go with Kelvin Gastelum in this one.
Decision or finish?
Decision.
I think Gastelum can finish him. I think Whittaker can decision him. You're right, man. He's gone up against killers. I mean, Whittaker, he really has fought some great fighters. But Gastelum hits hard, and I think Whittaker needs to be conscious of that. Not that Yoel Romero doesn't, but I like Gastelum boxing. Like, he just seems to hit you at these angles that other middleweights don't. And I've undervalued him so many times. He's come up big when I didn't think he would. In like Tough, for example, I just didn't think he would win that season. He did. He's also come up short when I thought he was going to win. I thought he was going to catch Weidman, as some say Weidman's career's declined. And I'm not so sure it has, but he came up short against them there. He came up short against Woodley. So it's not that he doesn't rise to the occasion. It's just there's been times where he has or he hasn't. Whittaker's been one of those guys that I guess has been able to consistently shine. I just wish he fought more frequently, Whittaker. It's like once a year, twice a year, if we're lucky. But regardless, I'm really looking forward to this. I think Gastelum's going to hurt him early, but if you can't put him away early, then I think Whittaker's going to win. However, I don't have the luxury of making two choices like that. I got to pick one or the other. I think I'll ride with the champion. I think he just seems to make adjustments. He's dug deep, and he's going to be the hometown guy. That's just a tough task, you know what I mean? So he just has to get out of those early rounds and then push it to 3, 4, and 5, and I think he'll walk away with a decision. And I anticipate a great fight. And again, Gastelum will have his moments, but I'm going with Whittaker. So there you have it. There's our breakdown. We got 2 guys on the side of Whittaker, 1 guy on the side of Gastelum, but I think we all agree that it's going to be a close fight, and you should tune in to UFC 234. And pre and post fight, we got you covered on MMAjunkie.com, so lock it in.